Sports Connection, sponsored by Sterling Chiropractic.
Welcome into Sports Connection. Lauren Floyd and Brian Webb. We've been previewing high school football teams for weeks, and the time has finally come. I know it's an exciting time of the year.
It did not disappoint.
It did not.
Either.
We're going to go ahead and kick things off with yesterday's bowl game to start things out. In the Rafferty's Bowl, we had Bowling Green taking on Frederick Douglass, a rematch of that state title game 2 years ago. Unfortunately, once again, it did not end in the favor of the Purples.
Man, I wasn't expecting this. I didn't get to see this game. I wasn't there in the stands, but there's old Deuce, though, making things happen. He'll be doing that all season. But I think a lot of unforced errors maybe are part of it. And did you notice that the same score in this game was the same score?
It was.
That's a goocher. And we used to call those a goocher.
Yeah, Boyle County and LCA, their final score was 35-13 as well. So that was kind of interesting how that played out.
Don't worry about the Purples.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I mean, I think first game jitters, again, I mean, they're used to being out on this field with this type of competition. But, every team at the very beginning of the season, still some kinks they got to work out.
Yeah.
But give it a couple weeks, and I think
you'll see that in college football and in the pro rankings as well.
Exactly. Now we're going to take things back to Friday night. On opening night, we had Allen County Scottsville taking on Marion County over at Greenwood. A big showing for the Patriots here. I will say this very first touchdown of the game, they tricked the heck out of me. And it was awesome
was
to see
that
them
Adams'
out there.
little sneaker there?
Yes,
Yeah,
he got me, and it's okay. But in the third quarter, they had back-to-back punt returns for
crazy.
A touchdown. It was just, at one point, Marion County was going for it on fourth down, knowing more than likely they weren't going to get it just because
I wouldn't kick
that
it
happened
after
3 times in a row.
You just stopped kicking it after that. And then Chase Ross with a huge game, man.
And then Deontay Granger as well had a huge game for the Patriots. And then the next game was a super late game. We had Greenwood taking on Hoptown. That game didn't start till a little bit after 9 o'clock. So I only got to see the very first drive, which did end in a Gators touchdown. Final score in that one was 34-32 Greenwood.
Yeah, got a new quarterback back there behind center, Levi Wyatt there. And, but I think the big story of this game was their running back who's sat behind, Telltale for the last couple years, and that's the General Schwarzkopf. I mean, this kid had a heck of a game last night. I like what I see. It'll be fun to watch Greenwood go against Warren East next week.
Yes, it will. Moving over to Warren East, we had their game, the Raiders taking on Christian County. This was an absolute blowout to open the J. Allen Builders Bowl. Dane Parsley, what a game for him.
Great. Dane Parsley can do just about anything. The Raiders, they're going to be a team to reckon with this year. I think they got some unfinished business. And Tanner Hall had these guys. We were out there for Cry Like game night the other night, and Caden stopped by. Hopefully I'll get to see you some on the trail this year as well.
Oh, yeah, you'll see me out there. Then in that final game of the J. Allen Builders Bowl, Franklin Simpson in Davis County. Franklin Simpson with a 31-13 win in that one.
Mad Max Chaney. I'll tell you, there's not enough I could say, but Lane offered a big game, 3 touchdowns in that one, and they never disappoint. Listen, whatever Max Chaney says, ratchet it up about 4 times because he's not going to let the cat out of the bag. But yeah, look for these Wildcats to be high flying this year.
Yeah, I mean, they lost a lot of seniors, but it seems like the guys have really picked up where they left off. And
reload.
A lot of different guys stepping up to the plate, so it was really good to see for that opening week.
Yes.
Then out at Logan County in the opening game of that bowl was Warren Central and Russellville. Knew this one was kind of come down to the wire there. It was a lot more defense oriented than I personally thought it was going to be. I thought there'd be a lot more offense in this one. So a low scoring game, 8-6, but Warren Central is now 1-0. It's Coach Jeremy Harness's first win as a head coach, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm not worried about the baseball score. I mean, I'm just glad to see these two teams competing this year, and both of them had a fairly rough season last year, so it's good to see them at it hardcore. Mikey Benton will do a good job for sure.
Moving over to the second game, we had Logan County and Butler County. This game was tied for a long time until it
just broke out.
Then it wasn't. Logan County seems like they lit up a fire a little bit in that second half and ended up winning 44-13.
Man, if the Cougars were a band, it'd be Adler and the Cougs, man. He's he comes out of the gate just I'm talking about firing on all cylinders, but you're right. Kind of stagnant there for a minute, and then they just explode on the scene. Always look for the Cougars to do some things that we're not expecting.
And then our final game that we got to get out to this week was over at Barron County for a solo matchup as they hosted Metcalfe County. This one was pretty busted wide open from the get-go. The Trojans with a massive win, 54-14.
Yeah, man. Spillman doing great things up there for sure. And then Waylon Clemens had a great game. But we're running out of time. I do want to mention the South Warren Spartans, though. What a showing against top 10, 20 team in the state. Bryce on the button doing his thing. And I'll tell you what, though, this Colton Veltkamp, you may have heard that last name before. Mm-hmm. Keep an eye on this guy. He's what they call a headhunter, and he's unbelievable. So congrats to the Spartans for getting a great win last night.
Yeah, and coming up on this week's episode of Sports Connection, we have the Edmonson County Wildcats as well as the Greenwood Gators. So stay tuned to hear from those teams.